Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. Tonight, we are going to talk about this post that James Filan put up, a Ripple response to the SEC motion regarding redactions. There's a luxury brand using XRP, something going on that upset Crypto Eddie a lot. We got to talk about that. The SEC chair wants to protect retail investors. I don't know. We got to talk about that and a lot more. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Hey, Jeff, let's kick this puppy off. What do you got? What do you have for us?
And we're going to start with this post from James Filan.
Let's do it.
I think this is a really good one, Chip. So this is all timely, all poignant to the XRP community as well as the SEC and Ripple. Ripple responds to the SEC motion regarding the redactions and relies on the SEC's representation and the court's review to determine whether the redacted portions expressly reflect the author's own thinking or reflect. Now we get into it. We can get into this commentary with the judge because they're writing it to the judge. So it really looks at this point like the judge is going to have to take that decision and respond to it. And really, Chip, I wanted to get into, some of the commentary here and get your feedback on this as well. But James Filan, deliberations or communication among SEC staff during the meeting, essentially because only the court and the SEC have seen the unredacted documents. Ripple must defer to the court to decide whether the redacted portions are in fact protected by the DPP. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, why are they redacting anything? And what is so important in there that they don't want anybody to see it? And why would it affect the DPP? I don't know. Something seems a little bit awry here. Something doesn't smell right. Doesn't pass the sniff test. But it's hard to really say. I mean, is it part of DPP? I don't know. But I'm just like, why would you redact anything? What would be so sensitive that you couldn't let it? I mean, is it people's names? Is it a place? I mean, what exactly is? It's hard to know, Jeff.
That's what I'm wondering. The fact that they're only sharing it with the court, and so now the defendant in this scenario, which is Ripple, has to defer to everyone to say, okay, we read through it and here's our decision. And it's amazing. It's amazing that they keep wanting to redact documents, delay. It just seems like there's no end in sight.
Yeah, it does seem like it's like, can we drag this out anymore? Can we drag this out to 2025? I mean, if you let the SEC, they just might try to do that. But I think it's starting to come to a head here.
Exactly. So Rob XRP said, thank you, Filan Law. Since we're relying on the judge in this current situation, when do you think the judge would answer back in regards to our analysis of these documents? And, we kind of get into it. The problem with the SEC is that they want to hide every single document, just like we were talking about. So here's what James Filan was saying about that delay. He said, no, the 2-week clock starts when the individual defendants file their answers. They must file them no later than April 8th. But if they file their answers before April 8th, the 2-week clock starts on the date the answers are filed. And so it just seems like the momentum is getting ready to pick up here.
Gotcha. Go to the top for 1 second, please. Scroll to the top, the very first tweet. Keep going all the way up to the top. I want to hear, what was the date on this? That was today. Okay.
This was today.
Interesting. So that just happened.
Just posted.
That just happened.
The date on the letter is also April 4th. So this is all very, very timely.
Very timely.
And we got to see what the outcome is going to be.
Interesting. Jeff, I wanted to get into this next story because I think it's big. We don't talk enough about mainstream adoption. And look at this right here. This one is pretty interesting. This is nearly an $8 billion brand, fashion brand, luxury brand, Off-White, accepts crypto payments across the flagship stores. The fashion label will leverage an arbitrage system provided by Berlin-based Lunu to buoy volatile crypto prices, according to a report by Vogue Business. And then they get into it down here where they say Off-White, which generated an estimated $7 billion in revenue last year, said it will now take Bitcoin, Ether, Binance Coin, XRP, Tether, and Circle's USDC in exchange for clothing and apparel. Now, this is a huge deal because, again, this is based in Europe. It's a European-based brand. Their stores are located in Paris, Milan, and London. And so they don't really care too much about what's going on in the US. They just know that XRP is an important digital asset, and they're going to go ahead and take that. The other part that I thought was pretty interesting in this, scroll down a little bit. Yeah, their consumer base consists mainly of Gen Ys or millennials, those born between 81 and 96. They also happen to be one of the crypto industry's largest adopters. So they probably did the research, Jeff. They realized that, okay, what are they holding? Well, they're holding Bitcoin, they're holding ETH, they're holding XRP. Then they also weave in Tether and Circle on the stablecoin side. But I think this is incredible news. LVMH, which is better known as Louis Vuitton, acquired a 60% stake in the label last year. The brand's parent company, New Guards Group, was purchased by luxury market Farfetch for $675 million. This is a huge development, in my opinion. I think this is something phenomenal. Your thoughts, Jeff?
No, it really is. I mean, it's going mainstream. So getting into the luxury brand, like you said, they did their homework, and I think overall, what is the one thing that we always talk about, and everybody in the crypto space are always referencing, is when mainstream adoption. And so now, as you start seeing the luxury brands, it's kind of like, when something new with automotive comes out, where do you see it first? In U.S. manufacturing, it's always in Cadillac, and then you'll see it BMW, Mercedes. Those guys always roll out the best features, and then it kind of comes down. So now we're going to see this with some of the bigger players of the luxury brands. All of a sudden, you're going to start seeing it in other mainstream areas as well. I think it's over a net positive, even though we're seeing, it's good. And XRP too. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right.
What else we have next in the agenda we need to dive into, and
what else do we got?
Take a quick look at.
So this one I thought was really interesting because these are new crypto owners for 2021. So they singled in on 3 key regions, and I found the regions to be interesting but almost obvious, right? So one of them is India, the other is Brazil, and then Hong Kong. Now you'd say, why Hong Kong is part of China? You would think that they would ban it. You got the digital yuan, you got all sorts of issue within crypto. Why is it that they are also then trying to get in on this big movement? And maybe it's to protect protect their holdings, or to protect their wealth, or is it to take advantage of where the market's going? I look at India went through a lot of turmoil, Chip, over the past years, up, down, in crypto, out of crypto, illegal, not illegal. Man, it's tough. Really tough.
That's incredible. So, well, I mean, think about it. New owners. These are people like newly. We're talking about like maybe the last year or so?
Yeah. So check this out. So we have Gemini Crypto Exchange, who we know, the Winklevoss, polled about 30,000 respondents in 20 countries between November and February 22 to provide a picture of a rapidly expanding crypto ecosystem, which is really, and so here's their finding. Crypto adoption skyrocketed in 21 in countries like India, Brazil, Hong Kong, as we'd mentioned. The other half of the respondents started investing in 2021. So look at this. So we have 54% in India, 51% in both Brazil and Hong Kong. And then in other parts of the world, we also see an increase in adoption. So you got in the Asia Pacific and Latin America, you see 46% were in Latin America, 45% Asia Pacific. Then you have those in the US. You have about 40% in the US and in Europe. So what, 4%, 44%, sorry, all of a sudden they moved to words and from numbers, but 44% of respondents in the United States and 40% in Europe started. So we see overall, there's just massive number of people that are coming to the crypto space. And so it's interesting. You take that, 30,000 and extrapolate that. There's a lot of people that are getting ready to move into cryptocurrency. Look at this. Look at this ownership. I mean,
incredible.
So crypto ownership rates are reportedly also significantly high in countries like the UAE, et cetera. And there you go.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that is showing, Chip, the direction that things are moving in.
Yeah, very good. And look at this one right here. This is interesting because Crypto Eddie, we know her as being so even keel. She doesn't really get mad. I've seen her take people apart. I've seen her break down the FUD. She's amazing at breaking down the FUD. But look at this. Breaking exclusive news. Eddie is pissed at XRP Productions. And so there it is right there. man tarred and feathered after claiming one day XRP will surpass $20. And there she is. You see her face. She's not too happy in the middle of a video. Says Crypto Eddie rants on live stream for 31 minutes about why she's never been in an XRP Productions parody. And of course, this is a parody, Jeff, but I thought it was kind of fun.
Rant.
And it's fun because no one's really safe. We've actually been in some of these, involved in some of these as well. But it's visibly seething throughout the entire 31 minutes. Popular YouTuber Crypto Eddie held an impromptu live stream Sunday ranting about why she's never been parodied by the crypto satirical news outlet XRP The Standard Productions. What? I'm not good enough to be made fun of, she said. No, it's just a little bit of a funny thing, but they get everybody, and it's funny. It's just all done in good nature. And
I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot
I like it. I think it's really cool, Chip. It's nice. It's good to have some levity in the space, and people
for sure
enjoy it. People have fun with it. Overall, we have a really nice community, and I think that's important.
So, it's very important. What else?
I'll tell you what's not important is Gary Gensler's opinion on crypto.
Never.
That's not so important.
Never is. Come on and talk to us, Jeff. Come in
and talk to us, but make sure you bring your attorney with you, Mr. Gensler.
You hit the tripwire.
So this is also pretty poignant and timely because it was posted an hour ago here, over here on Cointelegraph. But SEC chair, retail crypto investors should be protected. There's no reason to treat the crypto market differently just because different technology is used. Oh, wait a minute. So we haven't even got into the article yet. And, I already see some issue with statement. So yes, retail investors need to be protected and they shouldn't be treated differently. But why is he treating crypto?
What's up with that illustration?
Differently?
That's a lot subject too. What is that? Luke Skywalker is like protecting. What's he doing? I have no clue what's going on.
Is this what he's protecting? Crypto and crypto scared.
Bitcoin? I don't know.
Supposed to be Princess Leia. Crypto is supposed to be Princess Leia, and Luke is supposed to be Gary Gensler.
No, I don't think so. No, somebody's protecting it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but
I don't know. But so Gary Gensler said the agency's protections that apply to investors, a traditional asset, should extend to those in the crypto market. Yes, that's pretty obvious. Why is that not happening? Why is the SEC now stepping on the
pillars of enforcement, Jeff? That's what it all has to do with
enforcement.
The giant pillars of enforcement. That's kind of
disastrous for those that are invested.
And that's Gary Gensler for you, right? I mean, that's pretty much Gensler there. It's kind of what you might expect.
Now, he had some prepared remarks. So he was at some annual conference at the Penn Law Capital Market Association, and he said that he requested SEC staff to explore getting crypto platforms registered, have them subject to the same regulatory framework as exchanges. In addition, he said agency staff could be working towards addressing regulatory clarity in the crypto space by considering how to register platforms where the trading of securities and non-securities is intertwined, and whether retail crypto investors should be afforded the same protections as though in the. So he's saying he's questioning whether they should be afforded the same protection. But I don't find this to be very sincere.
No, it's like, come in and talk to us. Let's have conversation. Might have some coffee, maybe some crumpets. We'll have some tea. Bottom line is, does anybody trust the guy at this point?
Man, I'm really shocked. Just that smug look just doesn't. Man,
who starts a tweet off with "honored to host Chair Gensler"? Nobody's honored to host Chair Gensler. You can't even ask him questions.
The problem with this is that you have crypto currency community not so happy with Chair Gensler, the meme community and the Wall Street Bets community, the AMC investors, the GameStop investors, on and on. If you go to Twitter, not so happy with Gary Gensler. Overall, I would say that people are not so happy with Gary Gensler. Not sure who is, because crypto exchanges aren't.
There's a party that might be.
Aren't.
There's a party that's locked step, but who knows? I don't know. It doesn't seem like very many people, even crossing out of crypto into other genres, the SEC is supposed to be keeping a handle on. They don't seem very happy either. I don't think anybody's happy with them.
So here's the last thought, because it's comical. During his time at the SEC, Gensler has repeatedly urged crypto projects with securities to register and ensure that investors are protected. Come in and talk to us. Now, if you believe that you have a project that isn't a security, then obviously you're not going in to talk to Gary Gensler. You're not going into the SEC because your project isn't a security. Now what, Chip? Do you
I don't know.
end just to be another notch in the belt of the enforcer?
Well, Library talked extensively about this. They went in and talked to him for years, and look what it got them. It got them a Wells notice, and it got them sued. So, and then they had to burn through all this money, and it's like, it's the David versus Goliath. You got Goliath there; it's got endless amount of money, the deep pockets, and then just trying to crush the other party.
Right.
It seems a little bit sad. You're right; it is completely disingenuous. But moving right along, this is another cool story, I think. Well, Emi Yoshikawa tweeted this out. She said, check out the new NFT standard XLS20 for building NFTs in the XRPL. Now, we've heard this news. It's not anything new, but I think there were a couple things that were somewhat interesting, or maybe some items that people may not realize. And this was tweeted out by RippleX yesterday. We developed a new standard, the XLS20, to help developers build more advanced and innovative NFT applications on the XRPL. Learn more about the proposed standard. And this was the Apex Development Summit they just had. I remember it was not too long ago. It might have been the beginning of the year. Maybe it was late last year. But that was the Apex Dev Summit, which I believe happened after Swell. And here we go right here. This is the video. What I want to do is Yolk has a really interesting comment. He said, beyond the demo, if you're interested, and again, so we're not going to go through the whole demo. We're just going to show us 2 screens here, but the demo is about 25 minutes long. You guys can go take a look on RippleX. Go watch the entire video, which it's well worth watching. We're going to cut to some of the better points of it. But beyond the demo, if you're interested, it's pretty good. Royalties, brokering, both part of the native object, meaning it's globally audited. And an artist doesn't have to grovel to marketplaces like OpenSea, which can delist, remove artists' ability to receive a royalty. And this has already happened to a few artists. So it's the same way of deplatforming, because OpenSea is a centralized platform. And so you're an artist, you put out an NFT, a decentralized type of an asset, but because you're on a centralized type of platform, it can totally do something wrong. And let's just jump here real quick. Let me blow this up here. This is from the video, but here we go. So some of the new objects on the NFT token side represents a single NFT and holds data associated with the NFT. Cool. A unique token ID and also flags. And then an NFT token offer represents an offer to buy, sell, or transfer an NFT token object, an owner field. And I think this is where it's coming big too, is that suppose you just minted a brand new, you have a whole set of NFTs. Maybe you have 100, maybe you have 10,000. And one of the things that can be built into these NFTs as an artist, a lot of times people buy them for a couple hundred XRP right now, as it we see on the Solo exchange, Jeff, right? They're buying them for hundreds. But then that person that buys it turns around and sells it for 10,000 XRP or 20,000. Well, you can build in a way for the original artist to get a royalty, an 8% royalty, 10%, 12%. So as that amount goes up and those resells happen, the artist always, or the project, gets compensated. That's pretty cool. So you have buy and sell flags, the amount of expiration, and the expiration and the destination. So all this is built right in. And then finally you have, let's see, where's the other? Okay, so there's also a new ledger structure for XLS20s. There's a token page which represents a collection of NFT token objects owned by a single account. And I think this is key too, because I think there's some friction points when you go to OpenSea and these types of platforms. This way here, you've got the entire collection, one account, provides an efficient mechanism for searching, adding, and removing NFTs, allows up to 32 NFT tokens per page, and requires just an incremental reserve for each NFT token page. That's pretty interesting.
It's interesting. So what you're saying is no more ERC20?
I think it's going to probably phase it out, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of traction this is going to get. We know that the XLS20 standard is already up and operational over there on Sologenic's NFT platform. So interesting stuff.
That's interesting. I like the project. I mean, this idea, and this is a thing, Chip, with the XRP ledger. It's constantly growing, constantly expanding. A lot of great directions with XRP. XLS20, man, I see that, having a big play, for the ERC20 space.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting to
So
see, yeah, where we're headed with this whole thing. And again, I want to just shout out to everybody, here with us tonight, whether you're watching it live or if you, leave a comment down there. But I'd like to hear more of your thoughts about some of the stories we're talking about. You might agree with it, you might disagree, but let's keep this in mind. We read all comments. So if you want to drop a comment on the
all
rewatch,
comments.
yeah, we good, bad, and the ugly. And there's not too much ugly, but there's some fun stuff. You guys are very
It's all
crafty.
fun.
It's one of the reasons you guys are the smartest people in crypto, and you make us
In the
laugh
crypto
too.
space. I love
Yeah,
it, Chip. I don't, I like when I see people having a different opinion from ours. It's enjoyable. I learn from it. And hopefully they learn, from us as well. And
yeah,
it's great. That's why we do have the best and the brightest to gather here with us all the time to listen. And man, tonight was a great episode, Chip. And I'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one very,
yeah.
very soon.
Really enjoyed it, man. Guys, you guys be well. Chip and Jeff, I will see you guys on the next one. Oh.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.